GTA 5 has sold over 200 million copies. Pretty much everybody owns GTA 5. It doesn't matter if you're 4 years old, fresh out of high school, or even on your deathbed still trying to find somebody to do Prison Break with, you have played or heard of GTA 5, and everybody around you probably has as well. The game has made billions of dollars and cost a whopping $265 million to make. To this day, Rockstar Games keeps it relevant with updates and ports to modern consoles. So if all this is true, why is Grand Theft Auto 5 so hated? On any GTA 5 themed post of Rockstar's, it's flooded with angry fans. GTA 5's next-gen port trailer was one of the most disliked videos Rockstar's ever put out. Behind all of these huge financial achievements GTA 5 has earned is an extremely flawed game, and all of this goes back, way back, to the PlayStation 2. Imagine playing GTA San Andreas and then finding out that the next Grand Theft Auto game would look like this. San Andreas to GTA 4 was a technological leap so massive, it would pretty much be impossible for Rockstar to achieve something that grand in the same console generation. The only reason why GTA 4 was such a big leap from the mainline title before was because there was a whole generation of tech to utilize and experiment with, while from GTA 4 to 5, there wasn't. Grand Theft Auto 4 was also scaled down enormously to cram in a bunch of detail in one compact city so that every location felt lived in and organic. San Andreas may have had a bunch of side content, stats to improve your character's appearance, an open world with multiple states, and a number 9 large, but in GTA 4, the cars drove like 2,000 pounds of steel. The bullets hit people like they were putting real holes in a skeleton. The story, acting, and cutscenes completely changed the idea that a video game narrative can't be like a movie. Grand Theft Auto 4 set a standard so enormous that in IGN's review for it, they even claimed it was an $100 game being sold at full price. So with GTA 4 building its audience mostly based off of the technology behind the title, GTA 5 had a lot to live up to, especially because it was coming out on the exact same hardware. So instead, GTA 5 took a different approach. Instead of cramming what the PS3 and Xbox 360 can handle into one city, Rockstar spread it all across a whole state, with a big city including mountains, desert, and ocean. Before, GTA was grim, violent, and a realistic glimpse into the underground crime world in America. But in 2013, Rockstar wanted to make Grand Theft Auto as crazy and jaw-dropping as the PlayStation 3 and Xbox would allow it to be. But because the 7th generation consoles could only do so much in an open world setting, GTA 5 had the same amount of content as GTA 4, but because the content was all stretched across a massive world, which in theory would make it feel more full, ended up making Los Santos watered down and empty. There is barely any buildings that can be entered, and even less outside of the city. While GTA 4 had drug deals, hitman missions, illegal street races, GTA 5 had some of that, but most of the crime missions could all be found in the main story. And speaking of the narrative, that's where a lot of GTA 5's hate stems from. Grand Theft Auto 5's story tells the tale of 3 bank robbers, all with different backgrounds and conflicts, coming together to make some real money. Franklin is a young man eager to work his way up in the crime world and leave the neighborhood he's been chained down to his whole life. The people around Franklin see his development as betrayal, and even his best friend doubts him throughout the entire game. Michael is a retired bank robber who gets roped back into heists and getaways after his wife cheats on him, so he impulsively broke a mob boss's house down. Michael's family hates him. His wife cheats on him frequently, and it's clear that he has a lot of unresolved mental health issues. Also, his degenerate son Jimmy is played by the same person who voice acted Arnold from the Magic School Bus.
Janet, you want proof? I'll give you proof. Here's proof of what'll happen to you if you stay here with your stuff.
Do you even have a penis, or are you one of those hermaphrodites born without genitals?
And finally, Trevor. Trevor is a psychopath who grew up on the Canadian border. His dream was always to be the best guns and drug trader, and in GTA 5, he's pursuing that dream after Michael faked his death and stopped robbing banks with Trevor 10 years before the events of the campaign. Trevor is unpredictable, terrifying, and also delivers some of the funniest moments in the entire game.
I want you to leave now!
Look, this is all I've got, all right? I had a tough upbringing. My daddy was not nice to me.
While all of these characters and conflicts are developed appropriately, kind of, not really, I'll expand on that later. In execution, having 3 protagonists can really make a narrative feel muddy and confusing. Typically in GTA, there would be one antagonist among a few other ones spoon-fed to you and killed off throughout the course of the game. So that way you can stay attached to the main story and keep up with which character is who. In GTA 5, all of the antagonists are introduced pretty early on, and all of them are killed off at the exact same time. Agent Haynes, Devin Weston, and Stretch are all left until the final mission to get wiped out, and Martin Madrazo, the mob boss Michael pissed off early on, is completely forgotten about halfway through the game. When Trevor kidnaps his wife mid to late game, he completely backs down and never threatens the main characters again once his wife is returned. I feel like antagonists in a game like GTA should at least be a little bit threatening, because the way that Martin Madrazo was brought into the game as this scary guy Michael owes money to this pathetic wimp who submits to Trevor, makes the player take the story way less seriously, because the threat of failure doesn't seem to be very present anymore. And as for the biggest problem that GTA 5's narrative has, we need to talk about Michael and Trevor. The relationship between Michael and Trevor is extremely tense, because Michael faked his death at the beginning of the game, Trevor witnessed it all, and also witnessed his friend Brad being shot and killed. After the presumed tragic loss of Michael, Trevor was informed by the FIB that Brad was alive and was just in prison. However, the truth of the matter is that Brad was buried where Michael's grave was. There's this tension building every single mission Michael and Trevor are together, where Trevor keeps asking about how they're gonna bust out Brad from prison. How's Brad doing? But Michael blows off his questions in fear of getting caught in his lie.
We're gonna make these assholes happy, and we're gonna walk away from this thing clean. Got it?
I got you. All right. And we do this, and they help us spring Brad. Right?
Yeah. We'll talk about Brad later, all right? I gotta change. You better grab a head start.
Eventually, Trevor gets fed up and goes to the gravesite with Michael chasing after him, and Trevor finally lays eyes on the corpse of his dear friend Brad. Like I said before, Trevor is a psychopath, and not just any psychopath. He eats people and cooks them into stew. He uses people around him to get what he wants, and if they are causing any sort of inconvenience, he kills them, or puts them in near-death scenarios. Logically, when Michael lied to Trevor, Trevor would have at least killed his entire family and then him. Instead, what happened was Trevor and Michael were intercepted at the gravesite by Chinese mafia. And a few missions later, when Michael and Trevor finally reunite, instead of an extremely tense moment between the two, when they finally meet again, it's because Trevor's saving Michael's life? What the
Hey! If anyone's gonna kill you, old Brad, it's gonna be me!
Oh! You here to finish the job, T?
No, I'm just here for the opportunity. Now run!
Flashback.
Let me just ask you something. All right, something I've been thinking about. Up in North Yankton, exactly who was buried in your place?
I never gave it any thought.
You know what I'm thinking?
I had no clue.
You treacherous piece of shit! You're fucking dead. You're fucking dead!
There's nothing there. This is it.
Moment of truth. As if I didn't know. Brad! I mourned you.
And I missed you. But I got a fucking family, Trevor. We were all gonna die. He did die.
You reptilian motherfucker!
I didn't want it to come to this.
Yes, you did! You just don't have the fucking balls to do it! Hey! If anyone's gonna kill you, old Brad, it's gonna be me!
GTA 5's narrative is just like that person who's terrified of conflict, where at any point when something gets heated, they just back down and conclude it in a win-win scenario. Trevor and Michael were the most important characters of the story, and the writers threw the tension right out the window as if it never happened. Trevor should have come back and tried to keep killing Michael, or at least attempted eating him, because just being the bigger person and letting it go is not like Trevor at all, and in my opinion is extremely cheap character development. Once GTA 5 is over and all of the antagonists are wiped out, it doesn't leave you with the same satisfaction San Andreas did or GTA 4, because those stories were much more directed and had one protagonist to pay attention to. The thing about GTA 5 is that you can really only fall in love with the story after your second playthrough. There are so many characters introduced at once, and the multitude of protagonists makes it difficult for a first-timer to truly follow and fall in love with one storyline at a time. It's also a relatively short campaign, averaging around 30 hours to complete. In my opinion, the 69 missions GTA 5 had was not nearly enough to get absorbed in the world Rockstar created. And hell, maybe the length of the game isn't the problem. Maybe the 3 main characters aren't the problem either. But the fact that the writers couldn't take their own narrative seriously makes the player take it less seriously. And that's what separates GTA 5's story from GTA 4, San Andreas, and hopefully GTA 6 if they go for a more thought out approach. Something that might bother you about GTA 5 though is that it's 100 gigabytes to install. And also, if you tweak the additional graphics settings, it can prove to be quite a beast to run on some PC builds. So maybe you should try today's sponsor, BOOSTEROID. BOOSTEROID is a cloud gaming service that lets you play your games at max settings on any platform. It's available for Windows, Linux, Mac, mobile devices, and televisions. What? As long as you own said game on Steam, you can use BOOSTEROID to play wherever you want on whatever you want. No download or upgrade needed for any of the games you're playing. If you want to play everything on your library on the go at max settings, and you know you're gonna have a stable internet connection, slap the link in the description below and try out BOOSTEROID. Anyways, GTA 5's story may have been a contributor to its less than stable reputation, but many believe that one thing and one thing only is what killed Grand Theft Auto 5. Or I guess made it more popular, but it was a problem though. Grand Theft Auto Online, everybody. Before GTA 5, online was an afterthought for Rockstar. GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1 had an approach to online that allowed the player to create their own fun. There wasn't really that many missions or game modes to take part in, but GTA 5 changed everything. There are constant updates to the service, keeping it fresh, allowing players to commit virtual terrorism with their friends, causing havoc in the open world or in missions that Rockstar created. GTA 5's online also introduced shark cards. In 2013, microtransactions and DLCs were becoming a whole lot more mainstream, and with franchises like Call of Duty really capitalizing off of additional content, Strauss Zelnick walked right on into the offices at Rockstar, grabbed Dan Houser by the throat, and the rest is history. Now one of the world's largest online services is pay to win. Instead of working hard for 10 hours trying to earn a nice sports car you saw in the shop, you can just pay Rockstar $20 and have a bunch of money deposited into your GTA account. Most people don't do this, but it's kind of disheartening that the kid with mom's credit card will always have the bigger and better gun, because you're actually trying to play the game instead of cheating your way out of it. Microtransactions were for Ubisoft. Microtransactions were for Call of Duty. Companies and franchises that barely innovated and changed the gaming world were supposed to be the ones to partake in that practice. Not Rockstar. Rockstar has always been secretive, but used to do a lot of cool things for its community. For GTA 3's 10th anniversary, there was a Q&A with a lot of cool information that was revealed, and Rockstar would frequently get in contact with their community, answering a lot of frequently asked questions through their newswire. Today, Rockstar doesn't do that anymore. Shark Cards turned Rockstar from a trusted video game company to just another greedy corporation. And that's why GTA 5 to some people is such a sore topic, because it was also the end of an era. Now we have GTA Plus, which is a subscription service that locked a bunch of previously accessible content behind a paywall, so players would be tempted into buying it. Pro tip, guys, don't buy GTA Plus. The more we support this kind of stuff, the more it's going to happen. And now, for the biggest turning point since you started this video. I may seem like some GTA 5 hater, as if I want to see this game crash and burn, but the truth is I actually love Grand Theft Auto 5. Despite its flaws, I love the story, and I've replayed it a million times. I love the gameplay, and I think for what it is, it's perfect. And hell, if I'm really hating myself one day, I even like the online. No matter where I am in life, I always find myself returning to GTA 5 because it's just so comfortable. Each mission is different and is super funny. I've played through a lot of Grand Theft Auto games, and while they're all hilarious, of course, I believe GTA 5 takes the cake as the best comedy.
What you going slow up the road for, dog? Move over so the traffic can flow through.
Whatever, I'll let something flow through your ass.
Dog, I ain't too sure that joke works, dog.
Oh, shit.
At the end of the day, Grand Theft Auto 5 bit off more than it could chew. I believe Rockstar handled the story as good as they could have for 69 missions, but the fact is, keeping up with 3 protagonists is messy, especially on the first playthrough, and most people just play a game once and never touch it again. Also, because of hardware limitations, it's clear the game was downgraded when comparing older screenshots and footage from the first trailer. Personally, I think that GTA 5 should have been announced in 2012 and released in 2014 on the next generation consoles. If it was delayed, I think that Rockstar could have filled the open world more, fleshed out the physics, and polished the story. The Xbox 360 and PS3 were on their deathbeds once GTA 5 came out, and now that it's 2024, a lot of issues that weren't so glaring before are becoming pretty clear now. So yes, there are a lot of conflicting opinions on whether GTA 5 is good or bad, but what do you think? Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll check it out as soon as I possibly can. Really appreciate your guys' support recently for the channel. 12,000 subscribers is absolutely mind-blowing, so thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video, and make sure to have a good one.